What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 154 of the Clever and Original Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Kayley Misialek, alongside me, the man with the plan, Jayden Reinhart.
Hey, it's me. I'm back. I'm here.
You have a plan of some type.
He is.
My plan is to
Or do you?
try to eat fewer Skittles.
Well,
I
considering
noticed
you
you
have
had
a bag, large bag.
Giant bag.
16 ounces is a pound, right?
Yeah.
So I had 2 pounds of Skittles.
Well, that's
Damn.
quite a bit.
And
That's a
lot.
I ate the
fucking
first
Skittle.
pound within a week.
Well, maybe you should not have that many Skittles.
They were
Don't-
on sale, okay?
Don't eat that
That's
many
why-
Skittles.
That's a trap. On sale is a trap.
Those are like
On
It's 2
sale.
for 4.
those
on
are like
sale is always a
shareable
trap.
sizes.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be
I
a
think the
single
idea
person
with
and
those
eat
Skittles is like I'm supposed to buy them and put them in a bowl and bring them to like a party.
Yeah, I
Like, hey
think
guys,
like,
I brought some Skittles.
like, hey, I'm at a party. Here's a Skittle bowl. Take,
Handfuls or whatever.
yeah, like mints sort of. Although mints are
makes
probably
sense.
better for.
Yeah, but instead
Fuck Skittles, though.
I've just been eating them over time.
Nope.
And this guy over here is JJ Larson.
Yep.
Same shirt.
Yeah. I have been
As
wearing.
last
I,
2
week.
weeks straight.
yeah, I just wear the same shirts on the weekend. So
You mean every day.
no, I wear different.
He's
ones
like
every
that,
day.
like those cartoon characters.
Oh, yeah, like
that-
SpongeBob.
yeah, like SpongeBob,
Just like have
Doug. They have they have a wardrobe that's the exact same outfit
Just
every day.
over and over and over.
Just on this Nirvana shirt.
Hey,
this
that'd
Nirvana
be
shirt.
good. There's one guy who I watch on YouTube who he always wears the same red shirt because he just owns like a ton of them, and that's just what he does.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, he doesn't own other shirts. Like he doesn't own other T-shirts. He clearly, he owns like dress clothes for
Right.
whatever occasions.
Is it
etc.
clear?
He probably does. I mean, you wouldn't wear a
He
red.
just wears like a red tux.
You wouldn't wear a red T-shirt to like a wedding. you know?
What if it was still a tux but it was red?
But what if he
Completely.
would?
What if he would? Well, I don't know. He's British. He's probably not about that.
What if he had like a red faux hawk?
Like Europeans are a little more tact, I guess you could say, on average. I've noticed.
Tacked?
Like not tact. What's the word I'm looking for?
Well dressed.
Well, well mannered.
Like proper?
You know what I mean? Proper, well mannered. Not as
The English stereotype.
Yeah, not as-
where they're like.
not like ridiculous like aristocrats, but like you know what I mean. Like they're like not like.
You mean
Walking into Walmart with with like an ill-fitting tank top that you're like a 400-pound like I don't know chain smoking 50-year-old with a gaggle of disgusting
I
children
get you.
dressed in neon color
Like they don't
neon
leave their
colors and
bedroom until they're
Crocs.
fully dressed. You're talking.
Yeah
Like that
like,
kind of person.
like
Yeah.
someone who isn't the person who goes to Walmart dressed in
Dude, Walmart's weird.
slippers and like
It's like in town here. It's like actually a different vibe than Target.
yeah, it
Like
is.
the prices aren't that different between them realistically, but like
You know in Stardew Valley?
That is weird.
yeah, it's just like I just noticed like it's different in there.
Well, I mean, you know like Stardew Valley where it's like a farming town and then they have that JoJo Corp or whatever, like it's just total like you walk in all of a sudden it feels like you're in a big city.
Yeah,
That's what it kind of feels like here.
yeah,
Like everything's like back like small town, back alley, like shitty
and then
buildings and everything because of the flood and all that.
yeah,
And then you have Walmart that's like
Yeah.
feels like you're in New York all of a sudden. Like, oh, this is fucking weird.
Walmart's a
Is that
strange
New,
place.
like New York?
I mean, what is New York like? I don't know. I've never been there.
Actually,
It's kind of
I went to a Walmart in
different.
California
Yeah.
and it was like there were multiple floors.
What the fuck?
It was
yeah.
weird.
That's
It was really
Well, like
weird.
in the in bigger cities, they have stores that are multiple levels.
Yeah,
right?
So it's like the fourth floor is the dairy section.
Like when I went to Chicago, they had a corner store Target that had like 2 or 3 levels.
Yeah, it's weird. Going up an escalator in the same store.
I mean, it's not that. Have you ever been to like like you've been to the Mall of America, right?
Yeah,
They-
but that's like
there's
different
stores
stuff.
that
Yeah.
no, but there's like
There's stores that
like
are
the big,
multiple
you know, they
levels.
always have the big ones like on the outer rim. Like every mall has them.
Oh yeah.
Like J.C. Penney or
Yeah,
like
that's
Sears or
right.
Macy's or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they have those. Like
Even
where
like
they're
some
multiple
like
levels.
smaller stores will have like 2 levels and like a staircase in the back.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. Architecture.
Architecture. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm. It is a thing. You know, it's used to like design and build buildings,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
which we generally use.
In our everyday life.
Yeah.
That is
To live
true.
and survive and thrive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't listened to us before, we are the Clever and Original Podcast. We talk about comic book movie type stuff, video game type stuff, particularly in that order.
That order. 1 to the 2.
So San Diego Comic-Con is this week, and there's a lot of news. However, we're going to start with news that was not from Comic-Con, but just happened this week. We'll start off. Disney and Marvel have fired James Gunn from directing Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This comes after some tweets James Gunn had made back in 2008, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Where he made some rape jokes and pedophilia jokes. And so Disney said they did not want to be associated with that, and they are indefensible. So they have separated with James Gunn, who has said that he regrets ever making those tweets, and he's become a better person since then.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he has been fired. One thing to note is that he did apologize for these tweets back in 2012 before he was hired by Marvel to make the first Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, James Gunn is out as Guardians of the Galaxy director.
You know, I feel like there are some jokes that you should not ever make, and then another tier of jokes where you should only make in like a small room of like trusted friends.
Yeah.
And then other jokes that you can make publicly, especially if you're famous. Like, come on now, really?
Yeah.
On the other hand, there are various like music artists too.
Yeah.
Like R. Kelly, for
Yeah.
example.
Actual rapist.
Right.
Actual rapist.
Right. But like some of
Yeah.
his music is good,
Yeah.
and I generally like to separate
Yeah.
like the form of media from the artists themselves,
Yeah.
because someone's character doesn't
I don't know.
affect it affects it, but it doesn't. It shouldn't like
You don't have to be a good person
to make good content,
yeah.
right?
I don't know.
And-
That's kind of my point. Like, I'll still listen to like Ignition by R. Kelly.
Yeah.
'Cause it's good. It's it's
But-
a jam.
I don't know. I think this is a little like ridiculous in my opinion because it's
These
not.
are old tweets,
Yeah, they're like 10 years old.
and they
yeah,
hired him
and like
after,
9 or 10 years
Yeah,
old.
they
like,
hired him after.
fully knowing.
I mean,
I guess they
Maybe
probably
they
go through
did.
his-
They maybe didn't know.
Maybe they
Yeah,
didn't.
maybe
I mean,
they
probably
didn't.
didn't go through all of
but
his tweets.
it's just like silly, you know. It's
Yeah.
like just looking at reading the jokes that he said that on Twitter, right? It's like, all right, most people that I know have said worse things than any of that.
Yeah.
And not only just behind
However.
closed doors, but in public, on the internet, stuff like that. And who's actually are there really legions of people who are like super upset about this?
I do want to say though,
Yeah.
is that just because other people have done it doesn't make
Well,
it
no,
okay.
but it's not like
He
nothing
still should
about
have done it.
nothing
but
about that seems like a big deal, you know.
At least
like,
as
I would-
far
I
as,
like-
like his career should be considered.
I don't know. Those jokes are, in my opinion, really bad. Not like bad as in like are bad jokes. They are though. But like they're bad, and like those types of jokes shouldn't really ever be said. I can understand why Disney a company that, prevents their movies from showing any type of smoking. Anyone holding a cigarette or cigar or any type of, smoking in their films wants to keep, make sure that, they have this good sort of image. And I understand why Disney did this, because those tweets are indefensible. I'd say one thing is that, you should have known better. But I mean, on one hand, I will say is that one of the problems I have with, I guess, Disney's side is that he had already apologized for them before they had even, like, way back in 2012. So, like, what, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
So he had known that they were bad for a while, and he tried to rectify that, and so and he seems to have become a better person since then.
Yeah.
I guess another thing though too is like the face of the company.
Yeah.
The image, like Disney, obviously, a lot of like movies for children. If he were to be working with Adult Swim, on the other hand, he would almost certainly get away with it.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't matter as much.
Because that's
true,
that's
but
like
that's...
the kind of...
So I think because they're Disney,
It's
like
a little...
even if like the guy who saw this, who works at Disney or whatever, was like didn't think it was that bad either, he has to, because it's Disney,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but
like I don't think it should just matter, because if he's a good director,
yeah,
he should still direct.
I want to go back.
I do see why Disney did it.
I want to go back to your point about like R. Kelly and like people separating it. I don't think that's the case.
No,
because I think it's sort of I get that argument. Like I do. I get that, like
because the music.
It's like I disagree with the person, but I still like the music or whatever. Like I still like the movie. I still like like food or whatever. Like Chick-fil-A does some stuff I disagree with, but people still like. But I think there's something to be said about kind of being sort of complicit in that you are sort of like by purchasing or listening or what is it, engaging with the product that they put out, you are saying that it's okay that this happens because they're good at what they do. And so I don't think that's okay. And I think, for example, like the fact, like that's like the whole like Me Too movement is kind of about, like, I mean, obviously it's not really about that, but it's sort of, and like, Harvey Weinstein, terrible person, right? Taking advantage of these women and whatever. And so making sure he doesn't have a foothold in the movie industry, that takes away from his power, right? And that's like the type of people who, rape, who, treat women like that, who murder, etc., are not the type of people we want in those positions where they have power because they got it from, they gain power from, their popularity and what they have made. And so that's why I kind of disagree with that notion that you should separate the two. I understand it. I don't think everything is equal in that, one, just because something is bad doesn't, mean they should be like just lose all their jobs or whatever. I don't think this is that bad. I don't, but I think there is something to be said is that people should be held accountable for what they do. And so I can understand that with, like, say, Harvey Weinstein, and I can understand Disney's choice in this. Yeah, I disagree that, maybe this was too harsh for what it was, considering he's apologized. He's, he's a different person, but I understand this road, and I'm not going to blame Disney for making this decision. And I'm not going to blame anyone for holding their people accountable, no matter how good they are at what they do.
I guess I don't want to get too far into it, because if I I think if I like keep talking about it, we're gonna get like capital punishment levels of insane conversation.
Yeah.
Like maybe too deep for this gaming and comic book podcast. But I guess why I see it that way, I get in trouble with a lot of conversations. Like, oh man, you like this band? And I'm like, yeah. And like, oh yeah, this guitarist Joe Montana is really good. And I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know who that is. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I just like their music. I have no idea. I didn't know that his birthday was 5 days ago.
Yeah.
I have no information on any of the artists. That's just me. So that's why I have a hard time. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Most of the thing artists do anyways, I don't even know about. But in any case, I think Disney was right in doing it, at least for their own face and sake.
Yeah,
a lot of people nowadays like to get all up in arms about everything.
Yeah.
And so for them to just kind of nip it in the bud right away. Otherwise, people would have been all over that. If they didn't fire him, they would have been like, so you let people like this work for you? And it would have been everywhere.
Yeah,
Disney would have been in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
so
naturally.
I mean, I understand the whole argument. Like, oh, I don't follow everything they do, and that way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to blame people for that, but I do think if you are knowledgeable of the situation, you cannot claim ignorance, or I think it's sort of complicity in the situation.
I mean, it's sort of difficult with a lot of things because what sort of thing is. Like where the line is drawn is a little difficult to ascertain, I guess you could say, because like people, I don't know, for example, like David Bowie and numerous other like famous musicians from like the 60s, 70s, like did like one girl in particular who like a bunch of people had sex with, like because she like. I don't know, she seeked it out, it seemed like, but she was underage. She was like 15, 16 at the time with a lot of these people, and they were in their like 20s, 30s, etc., stuff like that. So it's like where like, obviously I don't think adults should be having sex with teenagers, but like where do you... how you get to the point of like, it's so not okay that like you have to divorce yourself entirely from anything that they've touched it's a difficult question to answer because it's not in a lot of ways like it's hard to avoid things that are mega popular like that,
Mm-hmm.
like like you're not going to be able to avoid someone who is famous, so famous that like everybody knows their stuff, and if they ended up doing something bad back in the past, it's like a little, it makes it harder, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, I'm of the personal belief that like, people, there's people who have like so much money, and like one of the big terms is called "fuck you" money, right?
Yeah.
Like I got so much money, I can treat you like shit, and and there's just like things that are just not okay. And obviously this is just getting off into a different thing from like James Gunn did, but I don't think that they should be able to get away with it, and I think that's partly in holding them. I think that's partly holding them accountable as well.
I mean, to be fair, cream, cash rules everything around me.
Yeah.
Get the money, dollar bill, y'all.
But
yeah.
Or like that skit in Rick and Morty where he lowers the universal currency to 0.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Don't worry, I'll talk to the troops. Wait, who's paying me to talk to him? I'll do it for money." Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think corrupt, like that's kind of it.
I don't know. Like it's a hard thing, I think, to do. I mean, in my example, for me, for instance, like there's plenty of like music like artists who I'm like aware have done things that I find questionable, or have like said things that I find questionable, but like I have yet to, I guess, for most of them, like not listen to anything they say, and not listen to any like any of their music or stuff like that. You know, like I am sure a good portion of famous rock musicians from, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s onward, a good portion of those people have probably had like at least a few questionable like sexual encounters with like someone who was younger.
Lots
you
of
know?
drugs.
Yeah, well, lots of drug use.
There's a Nickelback song about that.
But drug use is like, nah,
Well, whatever.
that's
you know.
I don't give a fuck about that at all. Actually,
Yeah.
besides that, some of the that's another question we could get into, is using drugs, like buying drugs, make you complicit.
This is the moral conversation I wanted to avoid.
For another time.
Yeah, but that's an interesting one you can get into. It's like, you know, like if you're purchasing drugs, are you responsible
anyway.
partially for what happens at the start? You know.
Right.
But yeah, that's a whole another that you could probably take an entire class in college about something like that.
Seems like it'd be.
Did you?
No.
No.
That'd be fun. Like I'd really like that. Like just
class
like
just drugs in America.
just like
I
about
did. I
drugs.
did
About
take
the whole
a.
thing.
about
That
drugs.
should be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I mean, I did have
I
a
took marriage
class.
in America. That was really interesting.
Yeah, that'd be
Honestly,
cool. I'd
yeah.
like that.
I
Yeah.
did have a
Let's do
class about guns, so I.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, but
That'd be fun.
Interesting.
but yeah,
topics of
so
learning.
Yeah.
this whole thing
But yeah,
is kind of.
I get it. It makes me sad, but I understand why they.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
All right, let's get on to
Yeah.
some more.
And Disney and Marvel are both like big enough companies. I think they'll probably do fine without them. They'll
Yeah.
find someone else to fill his
Yeah,
shoes.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's move on to something more.
Less topical.
Yeah. So San Diego Comic-Con happened this week. Marvel isn't there, but DC was. They got in some of their trailers for their superhero films coming out soon. So they showcased an Aquaman trailer. It's directed by, I think, James Wan.
Yeah, I think so.
And starring
Long-haired muscle man.
yeah, who's played Aquaman for crap. I mean, I can't
Justice
think,
League.
I can't think of his name. What can I think of his name?
Looking it up. I got you.
It's from Game of Thrones.
Jason Momoa?
Yes, Jason Momoa.
I was like,
I don't know why I drew a
I was
blank.
confused for a minute.
I don't know why. Yes, but it's starring Jason Momoa, and looks showcasing. Or at least I think it's the first trailer we've seen of Aquaman, right? Or yeah, it's trailer 1, so I think it would have to be. So came out, showcase kind of Atlantis, kind of the plot, or I guess the basis of the movie. So what are our thoughts on this Aquaman trailer?
Looked all right to me. Like I don't really know what. I'm always a little reticent about like DC movies, so.
And I gotta be honest, the
We'll
whole
see.
like story that got lined up doesn't
Yeah.
seem insanely interesting.
Yeah, it seems
It's been done before, right?
yeah.
Place A wants to take over Place B,
But
Place A is the evil place.
and Place B happens to have someone with a deep connection to Place A who can
Yeah.
interject and stop the invasion from happening
Yeah.
through a series of emotional hurdles, both physical and internal,
That
that
flush
they
out
have
the
that they have
character.
to get past.
Yeah.
There's a love interest of some kind.
I mean, to be fair, you could.
From Place A.
Yeah, from Place
from
A.
Place
yeah.
A.
So a little bit of Romeo and Juliet in there.
The love interest from Place A seems to have to convince this person to come because the person is very
Like how-
unsure of himself. Not
Yeah.
doesn't have his bearings.
Well, you know what they
correct.
say is that like the one true story is who are you, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
finding yourself is
Finding
a big
yourself
is a
is-
big
is
storyline in like
is the
every
thing.
film.
Yeah, it is. That is every. If it's not there, it's like weird. Actually, it's like the character just stays the same the whole time. But
I don't think that's really a story. Then.
I mean, some characters don't really develop. But
Godzilla.
I mean, to be fair, you could flush out a story to its base components no matter what.
yeah,
But yeah,
this
Aquaman.
one is kind of like a. I feel like that's what happened before. The surface world is taken over by someone underground or underwater.
Yeah.
Or,
I mean, I'll see this movie.
Attack on Titan's an anime.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like surface versus something else, but they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, getting fucked up by big old dudes.
I don't know. It looks like the scene design looks interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I like sharks, so.
I'm worried the camera angle is gonna be like Momoa's pecs.
It
Like
is.
whenever possible.
That's probably what's going to happen. I'm just letting you know.
It won't
right
even
now.
be in the scene.
Okay,
Okay, kind of put it in the background.
Every superhero movie has to sexualize one of their leads. Yeah, they have to.
Thor,
Black
Captain
Widow,
America.
the female interest, the male peck shot. They did it even with Chris Pratt and Guardians 1, and it was like, this is totally not necessary. Because, the scene is shoehorned in.
Yeah.
Because he's like, they're like getting him to change into his prisoner gear. But they don't show anybody else. Gotta get that shirtless shot.
You got it. It's the only way.
Yep.
But yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. But yeah, I mean, the film looks meh.
Yeah, it'll be.
I mean, Jason Momoa's a good actor, but I feel like the lines he's a lot like Fant Four Stick. The new
there's no way it could be that
with
bad.
Miles
no
Teller.
way.
No.
Well,
it's the same relationship between the actors and the lines they're given.
Right.
Like the actors can be great, but if they're given shit lines.
Yeah. Speaking of Fantastic Four, just sort of digression. They had Michael B. Jordan, Miles Teller, and as leads in the film.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucked.
Yeah.
Majorly.
Well, yeah, because it's the writing was bad. That was the problem.
And I don't think it's gonna be that level of bad, but I mean Momoa being a good actor, it's probably still gonna be.
It feels like they're trying to, at least they're showing more jokes, or at least attempted jokes. I didn't laugh at it, but it was like, oh, hey, they're trying to be more lighthearted.
They're trying very hard.
Works for Marvel, maybe it'll work for us.
Well, I think the next one was a lot more lighthearted, and I really liked it. But we'll get that. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna be more along the lines of Batman v Superman or Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I'll see it.
Yeah.
It comes out December. All right. That's what we thought of Aquaman. Next thing up, DC also released the first trailer for Shazam, starring John Krasinski as Shazam.
Hey.
What are our thoughts on this trailer?
Who plays the older Shazam? Oh.
John Krasinski.
Oh, okay. That's for some reason.
Looked amusing. Looked fun.
Yeah.
I'm down.
It's going into the whole. It's playing into the campiness of the idea.
Which I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to
kid
do.
suddenly having powers.
Yeah.
Well, a kid who just
did that with Spider-Man.
all he does is he says Shazam and he becomes this big, muscular, older guy with superpowers.
Yeah.
In this weird suit.
That's kind of what they did with Spider-Man a little bit. Being that he's a kid and he gets his powers and he's kind of fucking around for a while. In any of them, really. The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one.
Yeah. What I really liked was the whole. I like this bit where he becomes Shazam and he's like, "Say my name," and it's like Shazam, and it's like, what?
That's your name? Looks like it could actually be pretty funny.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Comes out in the spring. I think it's April. They said in the trailer.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll play off anything on the Captain Marvel stuff, because Shazam's original name was Captain Marvel until they lost it to Marvel.
Huh.
if you want, I could go into it, but
I don't. I don't know if they'll. I don't think they'll call him Captain Marvel.
oh, they're not going
Yeah,
to. But I'm wondering if they're gonna like make a reference to
They
it.
could
They
pull
could
off a
make-
joke like Captain and then like
Yeah.
Shazam, so something like that,
Yeah, but yeah,
Mhm.
looks cool. I'm excited. I think we're all excited.
Mhm.
This is not. I mean, this is kind of from Comic-Con, but it was reported last week. There's a new Joker movie that's gonna go into production, starring Joaquin Phoenix. If I can find the thing here. It's gonna be an origin movie on the Joker, starring Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. Will go into production later this year, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Pop-up ads. It will be directed by Todd Phillips, and he co-wrote the script with Scott Silver. It's quoted as, or described as, quote, an exploration of a man disregarded by society that is not only a gritty character study, but also a broader cautionary tale. No official release date yet.
I mean, I feel like I've said this before, but I'm a little worried that it's going to soften up the Joker. I guess an example, Death Note. Whoever's backstory you tell, most of the time, assuming you have like realistic human emotions playing into the equation, whoever's backstory you tell, you're going to like feel bad for and root for.
Yeah.
So like in Death Note, like you're following this kid who gets this notebook and he wants to make the world a better place. He's going to kill all the evil people or whatever. I think he had like some... Well, maybe he didn't have a tragic backstory. He had like someone like died, like got shot or something.
As you know, as is tradition.
Yeah. But like you're rooting for him the whole time and he gets like super corrupted and you like feel bad for him because all he wanted to do was like kill evil people, I guess. And the police are like, you can't decide that. And like even though it's like clear that he's evil, you're rooting for him. And I don't want the Joker to turn into that.
Well, like the thing is,
You know, like but
Like,
remember his
it's-
backstory. Like everyone picked on him. They deserve this. You know, like I don't want to think that in movies.
it's easier
Yeah.
to demonize people you don't know. And so
Exactly,
the less you know
yeah.
about something, the easier
Yeah.
it is
Exactly.
to make it.
And that's
a
what
bad
makes
thing.
villains. Is
Yeah.
when you like you have to hate the villain and be like, yeah, go hero and fuck you villain.
You can do both at the
I
same
mean, well,
time.
like, yeah, I
think,
think
but-
Marvel does that.
Marvel
well.
does
Yeah.
it, but it's like you
This
have
is
to.
DC.
But I think the problem with that is that they're the protagonists, sort of. And so it's gonna be weird seeing the Joker against assumedly not Batman.
Well, even like
And it's just weird because like these characters, a lot of the villain characters in comic books are created in the vacuum or in the enclosed situation that is they're just a foil for the main character to battle.
Yeah.
So like if you notice, like a lot of superhero villains don't interact with other superheroes. Like the Vulture only fights Spider-Man, you know. Like the Mandarin really only fights Iron Man. Red Skull only fights like Captain America. Lex Luthor only fights Superman. Joker, Poison Ivy, etc. only fight Batman. And so that's the issue. There's few exceptions, of course, like really good villains. Like I guess Lex Luthor kind of. Probably shouldn't have said that, but that Lex Luthor only fought Superman because I guess he kind of does both. But like Ultron or like Wilson or like Wilson Fisk. I'm so used to the Daredevil show, but like the Kingpin. There's few villains that can go over a wide variety of villains. But a lot of them are based in that whole thing, and Joker is one of that, where he is like the opposite of Batman, and so it'd be weird seeing him in a film that isn't based around Batman.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess. Yeah, and I guess if he does get flushed out well, then him having his own character would allow him to be in more places.
Right.
Because then you can, I mean, like with Marvel and all their characters, like because you already know their backstories, they can just throw them in anywhere, and you can understand the character immediately. All the conversations and reactions make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in the movies, they haven't really done it where they like the only character that I don't even really count because he's only been in one film is like Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
He fights all of them, but he also never fought. Like he was created to fight everybody. So like like the only character. I mean, they haven't even done this in the movies. The only character in like the Marvel movies that have moved from one like a solo film to a broader film is Loki, from Thor to like Avengers.
Yeah.
No other villain has done that. I think they did Lex Luthor kind of. Well, no, they didn't even do that and scratch that.
Oh,
or what? Because Lex Luthor wasn't even in Man of Steel,
no.
Like that doesn't really happen, and like even in the superhero movies, they're always kind of stuck to their one character thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's part of the reason why like Venom probably won't be as good. Just why villain films in general aren't really a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Also because you have to root for the villain, someone who does bad things. So there's a lot of things going against villains.
Yeah, you can do it well, but
also another thing to note is that it's Joaquin Phoenix and not Jared Leto.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like Joaquin Phoenix quite a bit more than Jared Leto. So Joaquin Phoenix is in one of my favorite movies from like ever. Actually,
What's that? Her.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen that.
It's like that movie's fucking beautiful. Like visually, it's like really pretty. But it's about a guy who falls in love with his AI.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's all really cool. The AI is played by Scarlett Johansson. Also.
Oh, okay.
But
well, I mean, who wouldn't fall in love with that AI?
but yeah, that you should watch it sometime. The aesthetic of the movie, like I really like just the colors, everything is, all the clothes everybody's wearing, how the buildings look. There's no cars, really. Everyone's like just walks places,
Weird.
All the computers are like warm and friendly and don't look like technology, really.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they look like
I'll have to
natural. It's all like a bunch of like everything looks like woods and like not like machines.
Silver chromey.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's cool.
It's like a pretty future as opposed to like a
dystopian black and gray.
Yeah,
future.
it's like a not dystopian future. It's like a future where things are really nice.
People do like to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Like future grim.
It's like everything's gray and dark.
Sad.
Everyone's sad and people are dying everywhere.
Interesting, but
yeah, I mean there's a lot of good stories with that, but
having like hey, look, it's not shitty.
Yeah, things are all right.
Look how great it is.
Yeah, but
future's great.
Joker film starring Joaquin Phoenix going into production later this year. All right, next trailer we have Titans.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on Teen Titans, and it's going to be on DC's streaming platform, which is called DC Universe. The first trailer dropped for that, showcasing basically Raven and Robin.
For the most part.
Yeah,
Beast Boy
they
was
did
there
show
for a moment, and
Beast
Starfire
Boy
showed up a bit, but barely. I don't think we heard
she was on fire, and she was like burning the crap out of everything.
Yeah.
We didn't see Cyborg.
Oh yeah, Cyborg. We didn't see Cyborg.
But yeah. So what are our thoughts on the Titans trailer?
I don't know. Look kind of weird.
So they're not the Teen Titans?
I mean,
they are Teen Titans.
Because if they don't live in a big T, I'm not interested.
That's a cartoon. I guess this is a comic. But
Big T,
it's gonna be R, TVMA, but R.
Oh yeah, I mean you saw like Robin was like beating up some dudes.
Said fuck Batman
at
one point.
Yeah, who did?
Robin.
Said fuck Batman.
Yeah. When he's fighting the thugs in the alleyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was kind of like a trope between Batman and Robin, wasn't it? Like Batman was trying to rein in Robin a lot of the times.
I don't know.
Robin would do something childish, and Batman would be like, "No, I'm mature, and I'm going to teach you how to be a hero." So I guess it makes sense if Robin was like, "Fuck Batman."
Well, it was like they were like, "Where's Batman?" And he's like, "Fuck Batman," and killed them. Or I don't know if he killed them, but
maybe.
So yeah.
Yeah,
also had
I mean,
R throwing stars.
Which is very impractical.
Yeah, I don't feel like that have a whole lot of uses other than like surprise people.
Other when it's like it's like it feels like it wouldn't be that effective. It would just be like, hey, cool, this is an R.
Yeah, like wow, neat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looks all right, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not that excited.
I might go back and watch Teen Titans now.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch
the
Teen Titans Go is apparently really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Teen Titans Go to the movies. It's out in theaters like in like a week or so.
Oh. That'd be cool. Right.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not that excited. Also, it's on the DC Universe streaming thing, which I'm not sure if I would get because this is like the main thing for it. Yeah. So there we go.
I mean, it'll definitely be a switch, right? Because the animated series is very like lighthearted, and we got to be a team. And this one's like very like edgy.
Well, it was on Cartoon Network, and this is an R-rated show.
Right. But still, it's like the two are gonna be like in everyone's mind.
It's gonna feel like probably like the Marvel Netflix shows.
Yeah. I mean, that's clearly what they're trying to, like, mimic a little bit here, right?
Yeah.
Like the Defenders. So. They want their own Defenders because it was so successful. Which is fair enough,
Yeah.
We'll see.
But, yeah. So, there's that. Getting through that quick. Finally, the last movie bit of news we have is Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer. What are our thoughts on this? This is the sequel to the 2014 Godzilla film.
That actually looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
Mothra was there. I was sold as soon as I saw Mothra. I was like, I'm in.
Well, I need to find the names of the monsters.
And the three-headed one. I don't remember what that one's name is.
There's the one that came out of the volcano.
Yep.
With the pterodactyl thing.
Yep.
Honestly, this is a hard movie to fuck up.
Yeah,
got just big monsters.
Is it though?
Just make them fight.
Yeah, just have them fight. I don't give a fuck else what happens.
I don't give a shit about the story. New York can explode and die.
As long as the monsters why the Pacific Rim sequel was good?
Huh.
Because there was giant fights.
Wait, did you see that?
Yeah.
That
was good.
Okay.
I didn't see the first one. I still haven't seen the first one.
The first one is great, but terrible.
Yeah, this one's more of that, It's like... there's just a bunch of there's child soldiers fighting giant alien monsters inside of giant robots.
Do they like bro fist each other whenever they win? It seems like it'd be that kind of movie.
But yeah, a lot of crazy shit happens. Giant monster fights and robots. Like it's just fun,
Mm-hmm.
It's like just.
It's hard to mess up.
Yeah.
Just action. That's all you gotta do.
What are the monsters that are in this? So it's Godzilla, Mothra.
Shit. JJ dropped his phone.
I did.
The fucking. I can't look in cast because they're not.
They're not like people.
Yeah, no one plays them.
Not people.
James Dean as Mothra. They're like what? Godzilla, King of Monsters.
So the monsters are Rodan, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. I'm pretty sure that's the three-headed one. Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be fucking crazy.
Yeah, excited. Godzilla 2014 was really great. Pacific Rim is the same sort of thing. Like, as long as there's not dinosaurs, but I mean, basically, but like if little giant monsters fighting, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, 5 years after the film came out.
Yeah. I kind of want to see the original reboot thing now.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, it's really good. Started Bryan Cranston, and then then Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch, except they're husband and wife.
That's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
Well, like so it was funny because like I remember watching it. And I'm like, so it's Aaron Taylor Johnson and Olsen person, Elizabeth Olsen. They're married in this film, and then the year later, it's 2015. It's Avengers: Age of Ultron, and they're brother and sister.
All right. That's just how it works, I suppose.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are back for this film. But like not like it really matters.
No.
Well, we're there for Godzilla.
Yeah,
I don't
we're
give
here
a
for
fuck about what else
Godzilla.
is going on. I just want to see giant monster fights.
It's part of they're creating a monster verse. It's
right.
gonna be, if you've seen Kong Skull Island.
Is that in this universe?
Yes. That was in 2017. Godzilla King of Monsters is coming out in 2019 with the first trailer we're just talking about. And then Godzilla versus King Kong will be in 2020.
Oof. That's awesome.
All right. I'm fucking down. I'm going to have to watch all of these now because I'm like,
They're all
I'm
pretty
in.
good.
I'm sold already.
We should have like a movie night where we watch like all of these like action only movies. We'll do like Mad Max, like the old ones. Do like old Godzilla.
Old Godzilla's pretty. We should find like old Godzilla's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think the ones that are like were only released in Japan are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. That's what I hear too.
Yeah. But yeah, Godzilla and the other three monsters, Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah. And it looked like too from the trailer that King Ghidorah was gonna kind of be protagonized. Is that a word?
Protagonized.
I'm gonna make it a word. Basically, being made a protagonist, because there's that scene where one of the heads is like leaning forward, and that like chick who's on the building top was like going in to pet it. So it looks like there's gonna be two protagonists. Obviously Godzilla, right? And this King Ghidorah personerino.
But of course, gonna
Godzilla
get
will-
his
His name is in the title.
gonna get his head snapped by Godzilla, and then
Ghidorah.
snapped again, and then snapped a third time.
Yeah. He's had 3 heads. Unfortunately for
That'll be
that poor
fun.
creature.
So yeah, it should be a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
So that does it for the movie stuff coming out of Comic-Con. We've got one more story out of Comic-Con, but it's for video games. Spider-Man for PS4.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's called. Had a story trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Showcase kind of its story. What are our thoughts on this?
I mean, mostly stuff I already kind of knew.
Mm-hmm.
He has to stop all the assorted villains who've been fucking up the town. Has some friends.
It's got kind of a similar vibe to the newest Spider-Man movie too, with like they're still kind of kids.
Yeah.
But they have like their own like little team kind of thing, I mean, in the movie it's only 2 and now it's 3.
Yeah.
But
I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm probably getting that special PS4.
Oh yeah, that thing is beautiful.
It's absolutely wonderful.
God damn it, PlayStation, making me want to do all this stuff.
I'm probably just gonna buy it and then
Buy all this thing.
I'm instead of trading in my current PS4, I'm probably just gonna eBay it. I'll get like $60 to $70 more than if I traded it in.
eBay. We're not sponsored by eBay.
No, but that's a good place to hawk your shit.
Yeah.
It's a way to put it.
Yeah.
There should be their motto.
Someone wants it.
Someone
will
eBay, hawk your shit here. Someone will buy it.
Pretty much.
I mean, it basically is, right? But
Yeah.
they don't say it like that.
No.
Like,
But that's what happens.
We're a great store.
You can find a lot of nice, like you can find cheap shit on
Small
there.
businesses.
If you're like looking for something, like it's good to go on there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's a lot easier to sell on than on Amazon, so you
this-
get a lot more.
One thing I am disappointed. They said there was a lot of surprises. There wasn't that many.
In that trailer.
Well,
Not
no,
really.
I mean at the panel. There was no new games announced.
Oh,
I don't think.
Yeah.
They had
Oh.
a Marvel VR game on like Marvel card game.
Yeah.
I think the card game might have been new.
Also, didn't think we had on this list. Gamescom. It's coming up in August, I believe.
Yep.
There's apparently, I don't know if, I doubt we're getting actual new console or anything, but there's apparently going to be some Xbox hardware announcements.
Ooh.
I doubt it's new. I doubt it's next gen, but it's probably like some
Rumor has it it's like a new
Xbox
Elite
cardboard.
controller.
new Elite controller. Okay,
But this one works fine.
yeah, this one's good, but
Yeah.
I already spent
Maybe I'll-
$150.
maybe
Well,
I'll
so
buy
don't buy the second one. I wouldn't. If they release a new one, I'm like, I still have my,
I
first
got my
one.
fingers crossed for Xbox cardboard. Like
That's
the
probably
Switch,
not
but
gonna happen.
with cardboard
But-
for the Xbox. That'd be great.
The Xbox Switch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the Xbox Switch cardboard.
Nintendo games now on Xbox. Xbox games now on
We've
Switch.
developed a controller that is 2 pieces, like the Switch, but we thought of it first. Actually,
Nah,
we're
I don't think they do
Xbox.
that. But yeah, speaking of
Maybe
Xbox,
not.
somewhat news, mainly just because we like Halo.
Mhm.
But Halo Infinite, Frank O'Connor from 343 Industries was responding to a post on Twitter asking about Battle Royale and Halo Infinite. He said, the tweet says, quote, "We are not currently working on a Battle Royale mode. If you really want it, make a version in customs with elimination as a basis. Obviously, it'll be compromised in terms of size, but you can make something similar now." So it doesn't.
Thank
It sounds like there's going to be no Halo Battle Royale mode.
I am so relieved.
Yeah, I'm fine with not being a
That
thing.
tweet could have easily been, "We haven't started on anything, but it takes 5 minutes to put together, so it's in the game now." Like, that could have easily been the tweet instead, and I would have been so sad.
Well, I'm glad it's like. I'm glad it doesn't feel like everything's going into the same sort of.
I mean, it's almost assuredly going to be one of the first community maps you see. Like when you boot up custom games.
Yeah, people
It'll be
will
right
make
up there
it.
with like hog racing and whatever. It'll be there. It'll be Battle Royale Halo, and that'll be right there.
Right.
Someone will have set it up.
But yeah. So there's that. So yeah, that does it for the news this week. A lot of trailers.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get on to the juice. Reportedly, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, I think
Yeah, I
is
think
how
that's
you
his name.
pronounce it, had mentioned that in the future you won't have consoles as your gaming platform. Your games will be processed and streamed to your TV, your phone, etc., whatever. Basically anything. And that's how you'll be playing games in the future. So thoughts on this, on streaming video games as the future?
Well,
Yeah.
I guess a pro to them doing this is it would be less cost for us, right? Because we don't have to buy all the hardware. We just have to buy the thing to stream it and probably a monthly subscription of some
Yeah,
sort.
it's probably like a Netflix sort of deal.
On
you
the
know?
downside, if like one of these places with all this hardware has an issue,
Yeah. Well, there'd be
there's
a
gonna be some
lot.
pissed off
I mean,
customers.
there'd be a bunch of them. Like,
It'll be like the internet when your internet's down. It's like, what do I do now? Like,
Yeah.
can't play my games.
I mean, it
But
seems like
that.
everyone's going to this to stream.
Yeah.
Like Xbox has mentioned, Microsoft has mentioned trying to stream everything.
yeah.
Same with PlayStation.
I don't think it'll happen like for a while. Probably like another decade or so, maybe a little more. Just because it needs for it to work in the United States, for example. Like, internet needs to be better. Like our connection, our like upload download speeds everywhere need to be really good.
Mhm.
And some places are already in other countries are already there. Like I think, well, Singapore probably, but they're just basically one city, so it's a little easier. But we're kind of behind the curve in a lot of those, in like a lot of our internet speed aspects. So I think very fast internet needs to be ubiquitous, and
Yeah.
that's gonna happen because we're not gonna be doing it by wires at some point. It's just gonna
Right.
be like everything will be wireless.
Yeah.
And so at that point,
we'll have chips in our brains to control us.
Probably.
I don't know. But like,
I don't know about controlling us, but we'll be.
I don't know. One thing I will. I'm not. I mean, obviously, I would be excited for all this stuff, but like, one thing is I kind of hope it never is just streaming, because with consoles, it's like the same reason why I buy Blu-rays, right? It's the power is right there, and you don't have to rely on some connection, and so you can get more power and a guaranteed sort of quality, I guess, if you will. Using a native solution.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then there's the whole issue too of I got Games Pass recently, and I downloaded a bunch of games on my computer. And if you've heard of Lucky's Tale, it's like a platformer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Single player only, like no online features at all.
Yeah.
And I had to sign in to play it.
Like, what do you mean? Like, you had
It was on my computer, and my internet was still down because when
Yeah.
I first moved here, it was down for like
a
week or something, and I could not play until I signed in. It was installed on my computer. I owned it. No, the whole thing was there, but it would not let me play without signing into my Xbox Live profile. So it's like, please connect to the internet and sign in. It's like, I can't. Cool, I guess I can't play this single player only game now. And that is like a downside to this. It's like you wouldn't be able to just like do the whole like plug in.
Yeah, it's all just based on internet connection, basically. I mean, that's that.
And I guess if that's improved.
Yeah. That makes just seems like most things are going that way, because it makes a lot more sense for it makes more sense for like most end users, because you don't have to make investments into hardware.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, like your hardware investments are pretty low.
Like a TV.
Yeah.
I guess controller.
Yeah.
That'd be it.
And it makes sense for them. It makes sense for the people making the games, because they don't have to deal with any of the other shit. They just have like a steady source of income that,
I suppose, you don't have to, like, development costs are purely on, like, coding the game.
Yeah, you just put it out there.
Yeah,
it's like it's like releasing games on Steam.
Yeah.
Basically,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of PC games, like, there's like no physical copies that exist or will ever exist.
And if there are, it's just a disc that brings you to Steam to download
it.
Yeah.
So there's no point anyway, but
yeah. Yeah. It's a little inevitable, I guess.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
A lot of things will be like that,
Yeah.
Like music. Well, no, music isn't like that, because vinyl is the sales for that, but that's a little different. That's more of like people like that.
That is the thing, though, right? Like, humans in general do like the past a lot.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really hard. It's going to take a long...
Well, no, people are
series of
resistant to
changes.
change because, I mean, look at Xbox, right? Xbox One was announced with everything's online,
Mm-hmm.
You're not
People didn't
gonna.
like that.
You're gonna. Yeah, people don't like that,
I think there were
and they felt a major backlash, which they're probably still experiencing because of how terribly they're doing it.
Yeah, I think they're way too early on that. I mean, eventually, like, that's just how it's gonna be. But
Right.
But it's going to take like several series of changes, like small changes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and like improvements in a lot of areas,
Mm-hmm.
specifically internet connection speeds.
It's like dropping a frog in boiling water versus leaving him in the water and then boiling it.
I guess, except
Except we're not being boiled
Except
in water.
it's
given,
not like
convenience and technology.
Except-
So it's a little different.
Yeah.
except this isn't killing us, and it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, health-wise. Nah. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's our thoughts on streaming games in the future.
indeed.
And that does it for us on this episode of the Clever and Original Podcast. Jay, if people want to find you on the social media sphere, where could they do that?
If you want to come look for me and see what I retweet, most of the time I don't really post original content, but you can come laugh at other people's tweets at Jayden Reinhart.
And JJ, where can people find you?
J Larson 107.
And you can find me at Kayley Misialek on Twitter. You can find us all at Clever_Original on Twitter. And as you are right now, listen to us each and every week on SoundCloud, iTunes, and other podcast services. And we'll catch you next week, guys, in episode 155.